2025 has been a very interesting year for gaming. Now, there has been incredibly high highs in the form of Clair Obscur, Expedition 33, the stealth release, the shadow drop of Elder Scrolls 4, Oblivion Remastered. Like, there have been things that have absolutely taken off, and in the case of Capcom, they have released several things and made some very interesting teasers that people are still excited for. But the very interesting case of Monster Hunter Wilds, how you premiere with 1.2 million concurrent players, and at the beginning of this week end up with like 3,300 concurrent players. That fall off has been legendary. Then one that I think I'll do a little bit of a deeper dive on. I just have no idea as to why things have gone so far sideways for them, but it's a case where you can come out to absolutely universal acclaim and then fall off so precipitously. There have been other cases where, okay, just taking a look at Star Wars Battlefront 2, a game that is, just about a decade old, a game that nobody was talking about, there was no hype behind it at all whatsoever, and then, like last month, it has just started to pick up momentum, and then seemingly out of nowhere, it's hitting highs that it wasn't even getting at its launch. Like, it's just been a wild and wacky year where you've had catastrophic bombs. You have had big budget release after big budget release simultaneously getting released on these subscription services. Assassin's Creed Shadows, Avowed, Doom the Dark Ages coming out to all of this chatter, all of this hype, negative, neutral, or positive in certain cases, and then flounder so spectacularly. Say this year has been a mixed bag would be an incredible understatement. And then we also got the news that, okay, GTA 6, even though it was announced back at the end of 2023 that it would be coming out in 2025, and then we got confirmation, and not so much 2025 as 2026, okay? May of 2026. Don't worry about it. It'll definitely be coming out then, and we definitely won't be hearing in like November, December that, September, October, November, December. Don't worry about it. It'll eventually be coming out. But in order to just simply fill that gap, because Assassin's Creed Shadows clearly didn't scratch that itch for open world combat, there was this game that looked a little bit like GTA, looked a little bit futuristic, kind of like a Crackdown almost, which was definitely the stuff that I was taken away from some of the trailers, some of the screenshots, some of the promises that were delivered, but it was very much a GTA, like something that you would see very much during like the PS2 and the PS3 early days, where everybody wanted to do open world, everybody wanted a slice of that GTA pie, but because something of that quality, and because if anybody wants to play a GTA game, well, Christ, you can play GTA 5 on a toaster at this point in time, so it's not exactly hard to get your hands on. So yeah, people have kind of moved out of that genre. But whenever somebody has a different take on it, they can put it in a different setting. Well, yeah, it'll be interesting because, that type of hectic gameplay, that type of overly ambitious world building, if it's done right, it could be a banger. And then here comes a studio made up of a bunch of ambitious, well-traveled and decorated developers, and here's a sci-fi GTA, and some of the trailers that are out there makes it look like this could actually be like a futuristic GTA. There's a lot of promise here, and it's got some different mechanics on it too, something that doesn't make it not a GTA like, but has a little bit of a change on it in so much as this is very interesting. Here comes MindsEye. Okay, MindsEye, the new game from ex-Rockstar president. So it has a pedigree, it has a tie-in with GTA, so lending it some credibility, is having a very weird launch. Yeah, because you heard a lot of hype. I seen a lot of hype of this, especially in like April and May, and it was looking pretty good. It was a game that I was going to be paying attention to because, if it didn't have like political ideology, and if it wasn't, just trying to appeal to a certain demographic, I would have been interested to check it out. But then, the launch came around, and very weird is definitely one way to put it, and this has been a story that has been on the back burner for a minute, and now we can finally get around to talk about it. So, video game launches are typically fairly rote endeavors. Really, Austin, Manchester? God, I can't wait until Polygon also goes out of business like Kotaku. Aren't they supposed to? Weren't they sold off? Anyways, let's publish, reviews, so when the embargo lifts, usually shortly after the game launches, and then like a week after the game, depending on if the critics like it for certain reasons, and that nobody plays it, and then it just goes on to just be laughed at by the amount of players that it engages. Then you can, a couple weeks later, release all of your articles about how players are just bigots and different ists and phobes. describing a game's failure that you really liked. See Dragon Age: The Veilguard, Assassin's Creed Shadows, and the like. Every Sweet Baby Inc. affiliated game. And the public will use those reviews to inform its purchasing decisions. Well, it's kind of interesting because there's another topic that I might do a video on later this week. I'm not entirely decided, mostly because it's from a creative that I don't like at all whatsoever. I think that he's the most overrated hack in video gaming. He's kind of like Quentin Tarantino of video games, just far, far, far less talented, but gets way, way, way more publicity. But the way that his latest game is getting reviewed by most people, yet there's a couple of outliers. I kind of want to do a video in so much as games journalism. It's like there's still a certain strain of ideology running through certain outlets. But then again, I also want to see the commercial reception to the Amazon Delivery Simulator Part 2, and if it is, something worth my time and worth thinking about. So I might do something on that later this week. It's just, it really is a coin flip. Anyways, the launch of MindsEye, right, yes, however, isn't controversial or even highly anticipated. It's just straight up weird. Start with the basics. Yes, MindsEye is a third-person action-adventure game with a mix of shooting and driving as the foundation of its gameplay. And yeah, in some of the trailers, it was looking very nice. Very, very nice. According to the official Steam description, you'll play as Jacob as he fights to uncover the truth in the world where AI, high-tech experimentation, and unchecked military power shapes every encounter. What starts as a personal quest quickly becomes a mission that's critical to all of humanity's survival as sentient robots rise, propelled by human greed. Cool, man. Yeah, a nice back-of-the-box description, and this is why you make the big money over there at Polygon. But yeah, when the game launched on the 10th of June, after, a bunch of different trailers and stuff like that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, we got, the launch trailer? And yeah, I got it over here on Steam. Obviously, you can tell, and you can also see from all the reviews, and mostly negative. Oh shit, that's not great. But oh yeah, this comes from IO. Oh god, they're going to be doing the James Bond game. But yeah, Build a Rocket Boy. And yeah, some of those trailers, like, it was looking really interesting. Okay, yeah, obviously you don't have gameplay here, but yeah, here's some of the gameplay, and it was looking pretty damn good. Like, you got drones, you got robots, you got, some good looking animatics. Okay, the shooting was looking pretty decent. So yeah, it was something that was going to be a pretty good stopgap between GTA 6 and something that could, scratch that sci-fi itch as well. And yeah, then you got, gameplay that was promising to look kind of like the trailers, which is a stark contrast to what we've been experiencing from a lot of AAA stuff. And they promised the moon, but they ended up delivering moon cheese. Especially for something that, I got Canadian dollars that are up here. Yeah, it's not quite full price, but bro, you would be embarrassed to pay that much because, yeah, just simply looking at some of the gifts, yeah, they were performing much better than that. But yeah, when you get to the reviews themselves, poor performance, bland, empty worlds, terrible AI, bad gameplay mechanics, shooting feels weak, with no feeling of impact. Graphics look bad, but sometimes good. Good voice actors. Is this a review for Cyberpunk 2077 or from MindsEye? Definitely not worth it, at least at the moment. Yeah, not a good game. And yeah, it very much has earned that mostly negative, and I would have thought outright negative reaction, because I've seen a bunch of different, oh my god, just so many clips, so many pictures that were out there. And yeah, Steam was getting flooded with refund requests, even PlayStation, okay? And I've had a couple of interactions with customer support over on PlayStation. They've been very good about refunds and certain little quibbles I've had, so I have no real, I don't really have an axe to grind against them. And they were getting a bunch of requests for refunds for this game over on PSN, and they were granting those. So yeah, it just kind of lets you know that things were going wrong very, very quickly. And here we are, 2 weeks later, and yeah, the cycle continues once again with MindsEye's catastrophic launch to be followed by layoffs at former GTA producer studio. Sometimes it's not as simple as get woke, go broke to explain why a studio fails. Sometimes it's get broke, stay broke, release broke. Because if we really want to get granular and dissect why a bunch of games fail, it's ultimately because they're just simply broken experiences. Okay, Star Wars Outlaws, a game that came out last year. Okay, like, yeah, people can go ahead and complain. It's like, oh, you just clearly should have made a Han Solo game in order to perform so much better. No. Guess what? It was still broken fundamentally every single layer down. The character work was atrocious. The dialogue is, oh my god. When Cave S has to pretend that she's some sort of master manipulator here when she's trying to get the better of her adversary in a battle of linguistics. The way that she delivers her lines, the otherwise attractive but digitally destroyed Humberly Gonzalez, she delivers everything with ums, ahs, ers, ah. It's really bad. It's very bad. Not even to mention how everything is so fundamentally broken. Now, they might have patched some of it, but you can't fix what is broken. But hey, when it came to the stealth, okay, because there is very likely, and I know I showed a couple of clips in the videos that I was doing on it back in the cut, but yeah, the way that the stealth worked, how it's like, oh, okay, cool, you could take pot shots at stormtroopers, but the moment that the going gets tough, you can simply hide in the tall grass. And instead of fixing that stuff, Ubisoft decided, hey guys, we got a fix to this. Okay, we're just removing the stealth element to the game. It's like, I beg your pardon, instead of fixing it, you're just doing away with it. Good stuff. I'm so glad you guys are the ones that are in charge of future of Ubisoft. I'm sure things won't get worse from here, right? Right? But yes, woke games aren't necessarily bad because they're woke. They're woke and they're bad games. They're badly written games. Once we start to address that problem, then we can start to get to the bottom as to why so much slop is just simply coming out of not just AAA, but also the indie and AA space as well. But yes, Build a Rocket Boy, a studio founded by former GTA producer Leslie Benzies, has begun a redundancy process. Thanks, IGN. Okay, 45-day consultation process has begun, in which under UK law happens when an employer is planning over 100 redundancies within a 90-day period. Build a Rocket Boy is estimated to have 300 employees within the UK. Yeah, this studio is getting shut down probably by the end of the summer. Okay, the news follows the launch of the studio's first game, MindsEye, which can only be described as a bit of a mess. The game is not great and currently sits at just under 2,000 mostly negative reviews on Steam, a 38 on Metacritic, and to just simply pull up Steam chart for it, I mean, oh my god, the game is dead. Okay, at this point in time, like I'm recording this on Monday evenings, and not exactly, high tide or anything, but yeah, in its first week, over 100 players, 99. Don't want to oversell the popularity of this game, but 99 players, what should have been your peak day on Sunday. Yeah, the game's dead. The game is very dead. Okay, MindsEye may well have suffered from the fact that it was marketed using Benzies' considerable pedigree. Despite leaving Rockstar North under a cloud in 2016, he's arguably as responsible as anyone for the global phenomenon that is Grand Theft Auto. So yeah, the way that it was sold, a sci-fi Grand Theft Auto from the guy that made Grand Theft Auto. And it's like, all right, cool. And then the trailers were coming out, and he was showing gameplay that was very comparable. And then it was a buggy mess. Oh wow, very much hearkening to Cyberpunk 2077. I guess we have to wait how many years before this big expansion comes out where it's actually a second look masterpiece. Whatever, man. Build a Rocket Boy's main focus has always been everywhere. Okay, its upcoming Roblox for adults creation platform, which it claimed MindsEye would show the potential of everywhere's toolset. That's a real. Oh my god, these are just bad names. Okay, from the studio's name, like that's atrocious. To calling your big sandbox everywhere, like stop it. You deserve to be shut down. And now looks like a bad misfire. Things probably weren't helped by the studio's co-CEO claiming that negative reactions were part of a bot conspiracy, which, well, feels a little bit like denying reality. Yeah. MindsEye is a broken, buggy mess. Build a Rocket Boy is going to get closed down, and the year of gaming in our Lord of 2025 continues to be a bungled mess of one hit and a bunch of fucking failures. Here's hoping Death Stranding 2 is good, because the 6 people that are still playing in Mario Kart World, I'm sure you're very, very happy with your $500 purchase. I hear you're getting a new game next month. I'm sure it's worth it. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.